A lot of hospice with children who have cancer. So a lot of literally hugging kids who are dying, you know.
Go live in a
She handles it, no problem. But I feel like I make sure she has fun time afterwards. You know, like, I don't know, Rye Playland. So the beach there is a dog beach off season. And so, like, I'll take her and let her run on the beach to, like, blow off steam.
I'm just waiting for your cue.
You know?
So there's a book I read many years ago called The Story of Saint Michel.
And we're back. Thanks for
Alex
sticking
Monk.
with us. For those who are just joining, this is WPWL 103.7 FM, Pawling Public Radio, and you're listening to Marissa's World. I'm your host, Dr. Nancy Iankowitz, here with Marissa Levy, and her dog, Stella. Stella, who's a very special dog, and we're going to get into Stella's Facebook page right now. Wrapping up what we had in the prior segment, Stella's litter mate passed because somebody gave that dog xylitol and poisoned the dog inadvertently. That person was trying to be sweet, gentle, and kind. Did you want to say anything else about that to wrap up?
No chocolate, no avocado, no grapes, guys. It is not fun to watch a 2-year-old happy, healthy dog just lose weight and have a feeding tube put in his neck and, you know, spend thousands upon thousands of dollars at an animal specialty center trying to save his life and know that, you know, I tried my best and I still wasn't able to do it.
Oh, did she have to have, like, psychological intervention?
Stella, you know, David was the littermate's name, and David actually, he had his comfort zone in a crate. And when David was in the hospital, Stella would sleep in his crate and she would not come out. She would not cuddle with me. She wanted her brother, and I took her to the hospital to see David. And, she was almost scared of him when she saw him so sick. And it was horrible, and we brought David home for one night because he had gained his strength back. And just realized there was no quality of life left. And had to put him down. But, you know, the next day I had Harris. So Stella's a very, very social dog, and I was like, Stella needs a friend, and, you know, Stella has a boyfriend, and Stella has doggy friends.
So she has a littermate, or she has a brother, but she also has a boyfriend?
She does. She has a boyfriend.
Oh, that's nice.
His name is Corby. No, his name's Corby. He's a neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah. So she has a boyfriend. He's
What
a very
is
good-looking
he?
boy. He's a golden doodle.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a golden doodle. She loves him. All right, you want to go see Corby?
Oh, don't tease
Oh,
her.
you want to go see
I
Corby?
can't tell a mommy how to be. So we're getting ready to talk about her inspired children's book, and this is a children's book show right now, Marissa's World. So I'd like to hear about Stella's children's book and how that came about.
So maybe 3 years ago, I got an email from the American Humane Association, the ones who named her Hero Dog, and they said, so Simon & Schuster is Really?
Did you want to talk about it yourself, Stella?
So Simon & Schuster would like to write a book about Stella. And I sort of laughed it off. I was like, yeah, okay, my little puppy. And they said, no, we're serious. And they, a couple weeks later, I had a manuscript in my hands, and I emailed it to a friend of mine who actually works in publishing. And I said, so what do you think? Because I didn't know, you know, good, bad, and different. And she said, oh my gosh, I know the author. Would you like to meet her? And I was like, what? Turns out the author lives in Manhattan, and Stella and I had lunch with her at P.F. Chang's.
That's a plug.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right,
I don't like P.F. Chang's.
No,
I think
don't
it's
say
disgusting.
Don't say that, no. We're all moving around here. Okay, so Stella and her book and the author.
So we had lunch with the author, but it was already written, and then the illustrations came a few months later. And in the meantime, it's a 3-book series, and Stella's was the 3rd book. And so I actually went to my local Barnes & Noble because I wanted to get a picture of Stella with the other 2 books because she knows the other 2 dogs. And so I went into Barnes & Noble, and this manager walks over to me, and she's like, what's your dog doing in here? And I was like, oh, excuse me. First of all, Barnes & Noble is dog-friendly. No, she did not. And so she started talking to me, though, and I said, well, this author is writing a 3rd book, and it's about Stella, and blah, blah, blah. So Barnes & Noble started doing story times with Stella, and when the book came out, they actually, they had a book signing party, and the author was there, so the author signed, and Stella autographed.
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 Oh my God.
Autographed.
That's
So
great.
I inked her paw and stamped the book.
That's fabulous.
It was. We had a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun. She had a custom-made dress for it.
Now that children's book, though, the point of the book, what is it doing for the reader?
The book teaches about therapy dogs through the story of Stella. So it's obviously, it's geared for young kids. But it does explain what a therapy dog does and what Stella does as a therapy dog. It explains the story and why she was named a hero dog.
And the difference between a therapy dog and a service dog?
A therapy dog helps many people. A service dog alleviates a disability in its owner.
I understand. Thank you for that. So you mentioned that Stella travels around the country. That was in our last segment. Where does she visit, and how do you balance work and play for Stella?
So Stella, now that Stella has experience, I've become a little bit more picky.
Now that you're more experienced,
yes,
you become more picky.
that
we
too.
call it educating.
That's
Let's say it
true,
with me.
that's
You
true.
become more.
So Stella is cleared to go into many, many facilities, but on a regular basis. She works primarily with children who have cancer, doing a lot of hospice work. She does a lot with American Childhood Cancer Organization, which is actually, they hold Light Up the Holidays with Hope, which is the nation's largest childhood cancer awareness benefit. And it's in D.C., and they have a Christmas tree. Not politically, correct, but they have a Christmas tree that's decorated solely with gold ribbons. And each gold ribbon bears the name of a child who's lost his or her battle. So she goes down to D.C. for that. She works at United Cerebral Palsy. She works at several colleges for stress relief. Monroe College actually established a therapy dog program just for Stella. She recently started at the Veterans Hospital in Montrose. Works with PTSD support groups.
Wow.
I have a lot of fun with her.
What would you say are the best experiences that you and or Stella had once she became a therapy dog, and are there any drawbacks?
The best experiences are when you see a smile from a kid who's really, really sick. Or, I had one little girl, and she was 5 years old or so, and she was supposed to be starting kindergarten. And she was talking to me, and, these kids unfortunately learn names of chemotherapy drugs and not, how to be a friend to somebody.
And a whole different universe.
A whole different world. And she actually thanked me for letting Stella be her one friend. And it's, it's something like that that's, you can never ever forget. And, one little boy he drew a heart and colored it, and he said that Stella was his Valentine. So, so there's things like that are, best things out there. Are there drawbacks? Yeah, Stella's been hurt a couple times.
By accident.
By accident, of course. So there is a therapy, there's an insurance on therapy dogs, and they cover it, but regardless, I don't want my dog hurt.
Of course not.
Yeah? Is that what you think about getting hurt?
She enjoys working with the cancer patients. You do? Did you want to sit on my... She wants to sit on my lap.
Good. You want to go sit on her lap?
You want to sit on my... It's okay.
Go say hi.
You can sit
Go
on
say
my...
hi.
It's okay. She doesn't
No, you don't
have
want to?
I
Well,
just want
fine
her
then.
to do what she wants to. You can if you want to. You could stay there if you want to. It's okay. So we
Just be a
have
princess.
Stella
Okay.
here, who's working very, very hard to try to accommodate to a very, very boring situation. Hopefully we're all healthy, so there's nothing to, stimulate her healing. I'm sure you have words of wisdom to leave our audience with. I don't want to leave quite yet because we have another 10 minutes. But along the lines of wisdom to offer people, what can you say to young people who are thinking of owning and making a career maybe of having dogs help people? What can you share about that journey and how you can facilitate it for other people who might be interested in going along it?
So I hate to say it, but I'm pretty picky when it comes to therapy dogs.
Okay.
And I have met a whole bunch of them through Stella's adventures, and Stella's been invited to events and things of that sort. So, for example, she was actually the Grand Marshal for Bark for Life one year. And there was another supposed therapy dog there who growled at her. And I looked at the owner and I was like, that's your therapy dog? I think not. So really, be honest with yourself. If your dog can't do it, there's no shame in it. But if your dog can do it, it's an incredibly rewarding thing, both for you and for the people that you'll visit.
Is there a particular type of person who would be best suited? Is there a personality type?
It's hard because, Stella works a lot of hospice work. Stella works with a lot of people who are very, very sick in different facilities and things of that sort. And it's hard because, I'm not really allowed to discuss specifics outside of the visit.
Of course.
And so,
But is there a particular type of
I think that you need to be very
personality
strong.
type?
Very strong.
So the owner has to be a strong person who is able to be a private person.
Yes.
And who's not looking for the spotlight, which clearly you're just so humble. You didn't tell me about half of your background even, and that was just talking to you on the phone. So this person has to be, would you say a person should be well-versed in particular fields?
I've seen all different types. I've seen all different ages. I've seen gender. It really, I think that you really need to have an incredible bond with your dog. You need to know when your dog is comfortable and when your dog is not. Because if your dog's not comfortable, you just never know what's going to happen. And I've put Stella in situations where, she'll pick up on me being uncomfortable and she's just not the same.
Yes. Well, we know this about the intuitive relationship between the dogs and the owners. Do you think that we should continue for the next? Okay, we're going to continue through. We are not going to take another station break. Everybody knows they're listening to 103.7 FM Pawling Public Radio, and that this is Marcy's World, talking to Marissa, who's teaching us about Stella. So we're going to just stick right with this and plow on through until the end of this broadcast. So there is no particular personality type?
No, I don't think so. I think that, you really have to be someone who knows your dog well, and I think that you need to be strong enough to be able to internalize some things. And to know that your dog comes first. You don't. And really, I hate to say this, nor do the people who they're visiting, because if your dog is not happy and healthy, he or she is not going to be able to do their job properly.
So you have to be able to prioritize
your
dog.
You do.
And you have to be able to also accompany your very special dog to these situations that are emotionally very, very difficult for humans, and maybe they're difficult for dogs, but she's able to channel
They are difficult for dogs, and Stella's a pretty happy puppy, and she's pretty content as long as mommy's around.
And as long as you're talking. I noticed that when I was doing my reading, she was, I wouldn't say agitated because she's so well behaved. She was very alert and very cautious in her vibration, and then the moment that you started to talk, she settled down, she relaxed. Unless I was reading her wrong, maybe I was reading...
Well, you know what, she's with me 24/7. So she's a mama's girl, very much a mama's girl. I pick her up and carry her around. I refer to her as my dogter. I tell my mom she's not having grandkids because this is, better behaved than any two-legged child I could have.
She has a granddogter.
Exactly.
She's a dogger. We called it in our house a granddogger, but she has a granddogter.
Yeah. So it's put your dog first. It's prioritize the fact that your dog needs to be happy and healthy.
So if she had, she has other dogs around her.
Yes.
So you can have a therapy dog and raise other dogs. Should they all be therapy dogs, or can she get along with?
So Harris is Stella's been a therapy dog since she was young. And I had Harris, and, I was playing around with the idea, and Harris is just as friendly as Stella, if not more so. But he's big, and a lot of people are intimidated by large dogs. And I sort of laughed it off because he's not as well trained as Stella. Stella's a human being in a dog's body. Harris is a dog. And finally I was like, whatever, let's just try, and she passed. But no, she is fine with all dogs. Therapy dogs are not. Her boyfriend is not a therapy dog.
Oh, he isn't?
He is not. He is not a therapy dog. Her best doggy friend is actually a service dog for someone who is hearing impaired.
Is that a male or female?
Female dog. So so she has no gender preference when it comes to dogs.
And all these dogs have been fixed or neutered or spayed?
Well, service dogs usually are,
Okay, because they don't want to have those hormone rushes, and they don't want them to get...
Therapy dogs, it depends on the school. Stella was spayed. I didn't want breast cancer. Yeah.
Which is sort of kind of a mixed bag because she's got such fabulous genes,
yes, you're right. Her personality is exceptional. However, as far as breeding her, she doesn't look like a typical poodle. Her hair is not as curly as a typical poodle.
Right.
She was
That's straight. Did you blow dry her hair?
I flat iron her hair.
Did you?
I do. I flat iron her head and tail. And when her hair is long, I'll show you. She actually has long, straight hair.
She has long, straight hair. When
when her hair is long, it is long and straight.
Yeah. So basically, just to go off track just for 2 seconds. It is said, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I am not at all a specialist here, that Shih Tzus, poodles, and I don't know, another kind of a dog have human hair that grows and grows and grows, and you can be allergic to dogs, their dander, but still have a poodle or a Shih Tzu or maybe another kind also, because they have not doggy, they're really more human-like with their skin and their hair.
That is correct. Correct.
Uh-huh. So if you didn't cut her hair, she'd look like one big mop.
Correct.
So
I actually like her scruffier.
Hairstylist. But she has a hairstylist?
She does.
Of course she does.
And in the summer, she actually gets highlights around her mouth. not dyed, but they she turns blonde.
You are having a lot of fun with her, and she's clearly having a lot of fun. She's relaxed, and she's precious, and she's full of positive energy, and I'm happy for both of you. I did digress and take you off what you were saying, so please go back to what you were saying if there's more to add. So
it's just, I think that, do you want to talk? Okay. I think that Stella was born to do this. There was no training in Stella to do this.
She was noticed before you even knew what it was about.
Right. And, she's received honors from, Hero Dog. She's received honors from the American Kennel Club, for her. She has the Therapy Dog Distinguished title, which is the highest title for therapy dogs out there. She has a bachelor's, master's, and PhD from the American Professional Dog Training Association.
So you have 2 doctorates. A dog with a doctorate.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, you are doctored up the wazoo. Okay.
Stella has more letters after her name. Okay, she has a resume. Literally has a resume that I've drawn up.
Is it on her Facebook page?
No, it's not. It's not. If you guys want to follow her Facebook page, you can. It's facebook.com/Stella the Therapy Dog.
Stellatherapydog.com, no spaces.
Correct.
Okay, does she have an email?
Yes, it's Stella Lenore Levy @gmail.com.
StellaLenore@gmail.com.
Yes.
She does not have a phone number, correct?
My voicemail is Stella and Marissa. And I gotta tell you, Stella gets more phone calls than I do. I don't feel very loved.
So for all of those people out there who are dog lovers and dog owners and interested in having your dogs possibly be tested to see if they could be therapy dogs, you're a really wonderful resource for them.
I try. I don't think I'm any different than any other therapy dog handler.
And that's because she's honest. So in the last few seconds that we have left, we have 60 seconds, what words of wisdom would you like to give our audience, dog lovers or not?
I think Stella all along has demonstrated that not all medicine comes in a bottle. And I have a t-shirt on, and on the back of it there is a picture of Stella in scrubs, and it says, not all medicine comes in a bottle, and I think it's very true. I think that, I've seen smiles come on people's faces in secure psychiatric facilities, and I've had doctors say to me, your dog makes people smile when no antidepressant can.
That's beautiful.
And it's just realized that, a dog's unconditional love is a pretty special thing.
Anything else?
Mm.
No, you're all shared out. Marissa, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of what I know is a very demanding schedule, and for driving here from Westchester, where you are, and bringing Stella, who is just such a pleasure. And if you'll ever come back, that would be wonderful. We could also do it over the phone if Stella doesn't feel like coming.
You could bring Harris. You could have 2 dogs in here.
Harris, we have the chair. So thank you, Marissa Levy, for sharing Stella with us. You listeners know how to get in touch with Marissa and Stella. You've been listening to WPWL 103.7 FM, Pawling Public Radio. This is Marcy's World. I am your host, Dr. Nancy Iankowitz. Thank you so much for your time. We'll be back next week with another guest. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.
Oh, I'm so